Alright guys, we got the new Hcalory Toolbox 2. This is the plus version. This is the new version. So it looks just like the Toolbox 2, but this one is the upgraded version. I used it last night and a few other times as I was testing it. I need to refill a little bit more diesel. Close this off. So to set this up, you have your intake and you have your outtake. So fresh air in, hot air out, including your exhaust. Let's start off with that actually. So set this up just like this. Also, this has like an evaporation little hole to leak out. I always like leaving this facing down. And we're gonna put the exhaust port. This is here on the bottom. And since there's a lot of dry brush on the ground, I'm actually going to put it on a little table actually. But yeah, usually I just leave this on the ground. You don't actually have to put it on a table unless you have a lot of dry brush like this. Probably not a good idea to let the exhaust touch that. I actually put the tube that it comes with, this hard plastic one, and I went ahead and bought this extra exhaust hose from Amazon. This would just go up straight into the tent. Also installed this little circular port that it comes with. I just shove it into the tent here. You also have your cold air tubing, which you actually don't even need to use either, since there's not a lot of wind right now. It's not really dusty. I don't really need this, but I'm just gonna put it on. So go on the opposite side. Just like that. And I have a little 720 watt hour battery to power this on. I also have this 12 volt. It's like for a car fridge instead of the 120 volt cable that it comes with. It also does come with this same port, but it has like a positive and negative lead. This is literally from another fridge, electric cooler fridge that I had, and it works just fine. So this will go into the 12 volt socket. In this way. Then later on I'll show you guys how to turn it on and the settings and everything. Okay, also I want to go over some of the new features of this one compared to the other Toolbox 2. This one has a 3-minute fast heating setting. It also has a 50-hour ultra long time runtime, which is new. Also, as I mentioned, this is a 6-liter tank in here. Yeah, that 50-hour ultra long time runtime, it could be 50 hours of continuous runtime on a single use. So that's up to like about 5 days on a single fill. But keep in mind, it really does depend how cold the ambient temperature is outside. So you'd really have to take that into consideration for sure. Now the biggest thing for me is that this one has this remote. So yeah, with this new remote, it actually has a thermostat inside. It's USB-C, and it even has a carbon monoxide monitor, which you don't really need honestly because the exhaust is here outside. But it's a nice feature to have for peace of mind, I guess. But the big thing about this one is that it has the temperature sensor in here. So I just hang this up inside the tent, and now I can actually set the temperature that I want that feels comfortable in the tent, and it will automatically shut off once it reaches that temperature. And then it's going to get cold again, obviously, in a while because the heater's off, right? So then it'll automatically turn back on. So that's like the biggest new feature for me. That's way more convenient. Because with the Toolbox 2, I actually have both. This is the new version, right? The Toolbox 2S, the Plus. With the Toolbox 2, you just had to set it. And then, of course, the tent got super hot. I would wake up like sweating. So I had to shut it off. And then I got cold again. I woke up. So then I had to turn it back on. With this one, I don't even touch it. I just set it and it's automatic, which is really nice. Also, one thing I noticed too about this one, I'd have to really test them side by side, but from what I remember, the other Toolbox 2 that I have was a little bit louder as it's pumping in the diesel to heat up the chamber. This one does seem to be a little bit quieter, I noticed. The clicking is a little bit more subtle, which is great. Alright, I'm also going to show you guys my current battery percentage. You guys can see I'm at 99%. It's basically fully charged. And I'll tell you guys how long I ran it for and what was my battery at the end of this. And again, this is a 720 watt hour battery. It should just be about 15%. That's usually what I see of how much it takes up for about 8 hours. Alright, so let's go ahead and start this. I like using the app because it has a nice UI. Let's go to heating, activate, and it's going to start to kick on. You can see from the mode here. It's going to start to kick on, it's going to ignite. Here's the remote I was referring to. So this is like the biggest, newest feature where I can just hang this inside my tent. You can see the current temperature is 69 in here with the carbon monoxide being at 0 ppm, parts per million. So yeah, heater's running. And this is really well insulated too, that's why it's 69 in here. And I'll show you guys, it's currently 35 degrees outside. And I just have my little port for the hot air vented in here. Like I said, all the exhaust fumes are outside, so there should be no carbon monoxide buildup in here. So here on my phone, I'm just going to go ahead and go to mode change. So it should be, oh, it's already on temperature, okay. So let's say I want to keep this at like 70. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And you got to make sure you click this auto start and stop. If not, it's just going to keep going. So as soon as I click this, it's going to activate. And it should turn off because I'm already at 70. So it should turn off here in a bit. Yeah, so here you guys can see inside the tent it's 78 degrees. And you can see my set point is 74. And this depends a lot on your insulation too. So I got my tent up to that 74, but then it just kept getting a little bit hotter until it shuts off. And so now I'm just gonna turn it off for now. So from 11:30 p.m. last night to 7:33 in the morning, I'm just gonna go ahead and click this to deactivate. You never want to just unplug the power on these. You want to let it do its shutdown procedure. Yeah, you guys can see it's at 82%. So from 11:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. So about 18%.